Hello and welcome to Tech Raven. I'm Nigel and today I'm rather excited because finally, at last, I have finally found a photography course worth watching and worth paying for. In fact, it's worth more than that. This course should be mandatory for many photographers, especially if you're serious about your photography, your lighting, your composition, understanding these things and getting really good quality images. Now, I can't imagine anybody not learning something from this course. If you're an amateur right through to professional, everybody will get something out of it, I'm convinced. I picked up so many great tips and fantastic little nuggets of information from this, and I actually know a lot. Not blowing my own trumpet, but I studied in London. I ran a commercial studio in London for several years, so I consider myself to be, pretty up there when it comes to photography. But even I picked up some great bits of information from this course. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description below, and no, it's not going to be an affiliate link, and there's not going to be any codes, discount codes, anything like that. I rarely, if ever, use affiliate links, because whenever I see a video from a YouTuber and they start saying, oh, click on the affiliate link below, blah, 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 here's a discount code. For me, that just sort of seems to take away some credibility and authenticity from the video. And I just think, well, hang on, is this genuinely good or are they just pushing it for the kickback? So I would generally click away from the video and not bother once people start pushing affiliate links in your face. Now, when I recommend something, it's from the heart. It's because I think it is fantastic. And that's the case here. Now, any of the people that watch my channel will tell you that I'm probably the least sycophantic YouTuber on the planet. If something's terrible, I will say so, and I won't pull any punches. Just watch my review of Rankin's photography course that he did for the BBC. I absolutely slated that. I'll put a link in the description below just so you can see. But with this video, it is absolutely fantastic. The photographer's name is Damien Lovegrove. He's a British photographer based in England, and I discovered him absolutely by chance. I hadn't heard of him before, I don't mind admitting that, but now he's one of my favourite photographers. Now, I don't have many favourite photographers these days. Some of them are Carl Taylor, spelt with a K. He's probably the best product photographer on the planet, and I love the work of Rosella Van On for her beauty work. But now I'm going to be adding Damien Lovegrove to that list because he just seems to be a brilliant all-round photographer. In fact, he reminds me of some of my photographers from back in the 60s, 70s and 80s. You had people like Terence Donovan, Beverly Goodway, John Hedgecoe, Heather Angel, Bob Carlos Clark, people like that seem to be natural born photographers. They just seem to have it built in and they were just really good at it. Now, Damien, he's the same. He just seems to be a natural photographer. The man doesn't take a bad shot. And he seems to have been born with a natural understanding of light and how lighting works. He's brilliant at it. In fact, he used to be a BBC television lighting cameraman and director, and he even taught lighting at the BBC's prestigious academy, so he really knows his stuff. Now, for me, I'm going to tell you how I discovered Damien. Again, it's purely by chance. Now, I buy and sell quite a few bits of photography equipment on eBay, and just recently I bought some Bowens barn doors with some coloured gels. They were the original Bowens ones and not one of the sort of Pixie Pro or whatnot. So I actually bought that because I've got quite a lot of Bowens equipment and I wanted an extra set of barn doors and gels. And the lady that sold them to me said, look, I've got some other bits of equipment if you're interested. So I checked out the other stuff and lo and behold, on it were these two DVDs. They come in these tins. They're really well presented. And these are professionally mass-produced DVDs of Glass Masters. They're not sort of the purple dye, burn yourself at home jobs. And these are by Damien Lovegrove. These are basically called Studio Portraits 1 and Studio Portraits 2 on DVDs. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy those and check them out because it seemed like, they were only £12. I mean, come on, let's face it, people. What can you get for £12? A McDonald's Big Mac meal with a couple of hot apple pies, it's a no-brainer. So I bought these. And while I was waiting for them to arrive, I thought, you know what, I'm going to Google this guy and check him out. So I did. I just Googled Damien Lovegrove. I found a couple of websites and I looked at his portfolio and his works. And it seemed really good. I thought, this guy really knows his stuff. And then I saw that he's got some courses on there. So I'm just going to show you his website now and talk you through a couple of bits and pieces. Okay, so when you land on the website, this is the home landing page, and it's normally got a little bit of information as to what David's up to at the moment with various courses. Now on here, you've got the workshops and shoots, and you've got the Lovegrove Photography School with information in here about that. You've got products. There's galleries here as well, so if you want to basically, have a look at some of Damien's work, what he's basically been doing in training courses, you can come here and have a look at this stuff. I'm not going to spend too long in here, going through these bits and pieces, but there's some wonderful work in his galleries. If I just go to the Hollywood Portraits one, for example, you can see the kind of stuff that he does in the Hollywood Portrait course. So, yeah, feel free to have a look around in some of the galleries because there's some really fantastic work in here. But the one I wanted you to have a look at is here under products. Now, you've got the portrait lighting course and portrait ebooks, etc. Oh, and you've also got these scatter gels. These are fantastic. I'm not sure whether Damien actually invented these or not. They're kind of like cookies, but they're gels that basically just go over the front of your lights. And so it's kind of like a cookie, but just a much more portable version. And these are fantastic. So check that out as well. But yeah, under the products here, it's these videos. Now, this is what I've watched recently. I actually got all of them. Now, you can buy them individually. The Lumen, Illumination, Illumination 2, Studio Portraits, Hollywood Portraits Remastered, Simply Boudoir, and Photographing Couples. So, for example, if I just clicked on the Hollywood Portraits Remastered, it's got this little introduction video here, but you can come in here and watch these clips for yourself. So it basically gives you information about the actual course. It tells you the video format and the running time, how many chapters, etc. And it shows you some of the sample images that you'll get on the course and, of course, the price. So this one's $25, and it's got the equipment that Damien uses here and other relevant bits of information, but you can come and check this out for yourself. So with these products, under the videos, you can buy them either individually or you can just buy the complete collection by clicking on the Lovegrove video collection here. Now, this is what I actually got. Now, in here, it's got all the details about it. The running time, 864 minutes. Like I said, I sat there and binge watched all of these over a 3-day period, and the titles that you get. So you get Lumen, which is the most recent one from what I understand. And then you've got Illumination and Illumination 2. Lighting Studio Portraits, Simply Boudoir, Hollywood Portraits Remastered, and Photographing Couples. And the entire thing is $137. Now, I think this is an absolute bargain because, like I've already said, I learned so many things from this, and I think I know a lot, but I just kept picking up all these fantastic gems from this course. Okay, so I'm now just going to run a little montage of clips to give you another idea as to the kind of things you can expect in Damien's course. Now, I got the entire course and I sat there and I binged watched the whole thing over about 4 days. I was watching literally like 3 or 4 hours a day over like a 3 or 4 day period to watch all of them. And I absolutely loved it. And now, not only did I pick up just one little nugget gem of information, I picked up several, like literally in every video I watched. I thought, my God, that's great. And I was just picking up all these great things. And some of the stuff I love about Damien, the way he works is he doesn't get all geeky about equipment. He uses everything. He'll basically be using a Fuji medium format camera, 1 minute, or the smaller format Fuji mirrorless, the X-T1 I think it is, Canon 5Ds, that kind of thing, various lenses. And when it comes to lighting equipment, he will use both Nikon and Canon speed lights. He uses strobes from Linkrom, Godox. He even uses HMI constant light sources and Arri lights, you know, Fresnels and stuff like that. So he uses a whole bunch of stuff. And another thing I love about him, he doesn't get all hung up and too technical on the information that he gives you. Now, it is assumed that the viewer is going to have some knowledge of photography. So you're going to have a basic understanding of the exposure triangle, the ISO, shutter speed and aperture, and about focal lengths and aperture differences and what these kind of things do. You know, if you've got an understanding of that, flash sync speeds, then you'll be absolutely fine. Because basically, yeah, sure, it does talk about settings, so it'll tell you about the f-stop and the shutter speed and the lens focal length and, you know, loose different distances of lighting ratios and that kind of thing. But it's not going to basically start getting a tape measure out and saying this light's 5 foot away from the model, that one's 7 foot away, that one's giving me a flash meter reading of f5.6, that's one giving me a reading of f8, and all that nonsense, because that doesn't matter anyway. Because if you try and replicate that in your studio or outdoors at your location, the readings are going to be wildly different, and Damien understands this because he's a professional, which is why he doesn't go into those sort of tiny little inconsequential details that just don't matter. It just gives you the basic bits of information, and you can see what it's doing, you can see where the lights are placed, so it's really easy to follow. In fact, most of the videos, they're kind of done sort of fly on the wall. There's a couple of camera guys there that are filming him, and he's doing actual shoots, and he keeps turning around to camera, explaining what he's doing and addressing the audience. And every now and then he'll actually say to one of the camera guys, come over here and have a look at this. And he'll show them the back of the camera of the pictures that he just took. Now, of course, he shows the final images on full screen at the end of that section as well. But the reason I like it that he shows the back of the camera with the images on it is because you can just see the actual image with no post-production, no Photoshop work. And you can see how brilliant they are just right there on the back of the camera during those close-ups. And then when you see the final image blown up on screen, you can see that minimal post-production work has been done. Now, a lot of YouTubers, when they do these tutorials, they say, oh, here's a picture I took, and it'll just show the image that's been Photoshopped to hell. You can see that the model's skin looks like Barbie doll skin, and you can see that it's been just overcooked, basically. But Damien doesn't do that. He shows you images on the camera, and then when he shows you the final image, there's maybe been a tiny bit of Lightroom work done, and Damien tells you this. It'll just be some basic stuff like a curve and a bit of color tweaking, but that's it. It doesn't spend ages doing any post-production work, and they look absolutely fantastic. Now, I did actually speak with Damien on the phone, and he was kind enough to give me permission to use a couple of clips in this video so you can get an idea for yourself as to what to expect in the course. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically roll a clip that's from the Illumination section, and it's part 3 of Illumination, where over a 20-minute period, Damien demonstrates 4 different shots in 4 different locations with 4 different lighting techniques. So I'm going to show you just one of those now in its entirety so you can get a taste of what's going to be in the course for yourself. So let me roll that clip for you.
What I've got here is I've got a speed light. It's I think it's a Canon one, and it's on 105mm full power. And I'm going to just sort of strike a slash of light across the shot. Look fantastic. It would look great with natural light as well. So don't feel you have to use a speed light for these things. Sometimes just adding a bit of light just lifts it to another level, gives it a bit of character, and perhaps you could use slashes of light like this as your core style, a style of shot that you get known for. Here we go. Just tell me when I'm pointing in the right direction. Back a bit. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's make it happen. Right, that looks good. Oh, I'm just going to tweak that dress slightly. I think what we want to do is we want to take the width of the dress to here, and then we want to bring this across like that. So we've just got a little bit more. Stop, and it's wide open at the moment. I think that's going to be too bright. I'm going to drop it down to 2, F2. Let's have a little look. When I'm working with flash, I do need to take a picture and have a look at it, because you can't predict, even with you've got a mirrorless camera, you can't predict what the flash is going to look like until you've taken the shot. So I'm just going to use the viewfinder, electronic viewfinder to play back. That is looking really nice. I just need to get the top of the capital in and just come back a little bit further, just to about here. And then I'm going to reset my focus zone to to that's the shot there. Move it across. Okay, lovely, beautiful exposure. Everything looks fantastic. Right, okay, Vicky, that's nice. Yeah, bring your hands up into your head like that. That's fine there. Lovely, gorgeous. Can you just come around a little bit with your upper body, further around into the niche, be more central? No, just to come across a little bit. That's it. There, perfect. And just bring your hands up above your head to there. Lovely. Perfect. So classical, elegant, beautiful. Wow, wow, wow. I would say have a look at this, but it's so bright out here, you're not going to see anything on the back of the camera. So we'll have a look at the shots at the end of the session. But I'm going to just take a few pictures now, a few close-ups on this lens. All right, I'm going to sort that dress out a little bit. What might help actually is if you bring your hands up. Just do one without the flash. Open it up a stop. Yeah. Brilliant. I think we're there. Thank you. Excellent. Oh, you need the ladder, don't you?
Let's get down now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we'll just leave you there. I'll just go and get that ladder.
See if you're getting down. Yeah.
Well done. Excellent.
Okay, so there we are. That's Damien Lovegrove. So as far as this photography course is concerned, was I feeling the Lovegrove? Absolutely. It's a superb course and I highly recommend it to any photographer that's serious about their work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, bye for now.